The headline reads, Wilder's manager doubts Joshua fight will happen in 2019. So Shelly Finkel has borrowed a expression from Don King, and he said, the chances of this fight happening are slim and none, and Slim has left town. Very disappointing and very disconcerting and disheartening to hear this from Shelly Finkel. Now, Finkel, predictably, is putting all the blame on Team Joshua and his promoter, Eddie Hearn. He's saying that they need to send him a serious offer if they want the fight to happen in April 2019. And he's saying this despite the fact that him and Wilder accepted the very offer that is on the table right now from Team Joshua. Finkel and Wilder accepted it just a few months back publicly. Why would you accept something that is supposedly not a serious offer? How does that make sense? Now, granted, since that time, there is this Wilder-Fury fight, which seems to have cropped up. And certainly if Wilder comes through the Fury fight, he can definitely demand more money. 100%. I will totally support him on that. But is that the reason that the Joshua Wilder fight, if Wilder comes through Fury, won't happen in April? Or is there actually another reason which Shelly Finkel is not telling us about? Is he conveniently trying to put all the blame on Team Joshua when it's actually his side of the table that have done something to prevent the fight happening in April or even in 2019 altogether? Well, actually, there is. Well, potentially. Let me not say there is, because I don't know for certain, but I do know that in one or two interviews which I've seen over the past few days, Frank Warren was asked about whether or not there was a two-way rematch clause in the contract for Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury. In other words, whoever loses the fight, whether it's Fury or Wilder, if there's a two-way rematch clause, they have the opportunity to get an immediate rematch. Now, if this really is the case, and Frank Warren was very sheepish when he was asked about it, he didn't give a straight answer, which leads people to believe that there probably is. If there is, then that is potentially going to scupper any hope of a unification with Anthony Joshua for the winner in 2019, particularly early in 2019. It's going to scupper any hope of that. And perhaps that's the real reason why Shelly Finkel doubts the fight will happen next year. Now, Eddie Hearn has heavily criticized Wilder's team for giving Tyson Fury a rematch clause when Tyson Fury is only a voluntary challenger. Why would you give a voluntary a rematch clause? You don't do that. You only give mandatories a rematch clause because you're contractually obligated by your sanctioning body to give the mandatory a rematch clause in a contract. But you don't give voluntaries rematch clauses. This is what Eddie Hearn has been saying. Well, Eddie Hearn must have a very short memory because Vladimir Klitschko was a voluntary challenger for Anthony Joshua, and he had a rematch clause in the contract. It is the same thing. Yes, Vladimir Klitschko was a far more accomplished champion, a far more accomplished fighter, and a much higher earner. His market value was way higher than a Tyson Fury. He wasn't just any old voluntary challenger. But be that as it may, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are on the same kind of level in terms of their market value. They're on the same kind of level in their respective countries. And so therefore, if you're on the same kind of level as your voluntary challenger in terms of your commercial value, then you can understand why a rematch clause might be made. Because you guys need each other to get a serious payday, right? Outside of Joshua, they need each other. And they're both going to get career high paydays out of this. So you can understand why they would make a two-way rematch clause. Joshua and Klitschko, again, were on a similar kind of level at the time in their respective countries. Klitschko based in Germany, even though he's Ukrainian. Joshua in the UK. They came together. I believe it was a 50-50 split. And they did what they did. Since then, Joshua's obviously become a lot bigger and his purses have gone through the roof. Now we have the opportunity for Wilder and Fury to get a lot bigger and for their purses to go through the roof. And certainly the winner of the fight is definitely in a position to demand a lot more money from Anthony Joshua, 100%. But 50-50 would still be far-fetched, let's be real. That would still be far-fetched. But they would definitely be able to demand more money. All right? But be that as it may, such a unification fight is unlikely to take place in 2019, the way things are looking right now. Forget about the serious offer business. It's the rematch clause, if there really is a two-way rematch clause, which would prevent a unification with Joshua happening. Very disappointing, disheartening, because I want to see the big heavyweight consolidation fight for all the belts, all the marbles. That's what I want to see. If it don't happen in 2019, man, I hope we get some consolation prizes in 2019 in the heavyweight division if the big unification don't happen. You know, the money men in boxing, and Finkel's a money man. Finkel's a lawyer. All right? Finkel, Barry Hearn, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, these are all smart businessmen. They are. They're all smart businessmen. And if they can build up Wilder against Anthony Joshua for another year or so, they all know that they're going to benefit from that situation as long as their two guys remain unbeaten. They know. They know that. They also, because they know that if Wilder beats Fury, let's say he beats him decisively, and then Wilder fights Joshua, what happens after that? Does the heavyweight division start going downhill in terms of its popularity? Because one of the reasons that the Klitschko era was, there are so many reasons, but one of the reasons why it was such a turnoff to a lot of fans was because the Klitschkos didn't have any serious competition. I know David Haye tried to make a run at it and what have you, but for the most part, they didn't really have any serious rivals. Boxing thrives off rivalries. Historically, you look at Holyfield Bowe, Tyson Holyfield, Lewis Tyson, Ali Frazier, Ali Norton, so on and so forth. Hearns Leonard. Boxing thrives off rivalries. And so, if the Joshua Wilder fight turns out to be a poor fight, or somebody just gets KO'd in one round and is totally dominant, the person who emerges the dominant man after that, and let's say he disproves me and disproves my belief that there won't be any monolithic champion. Let's say if a monolithic champion does emerge in 2019, that really won't help the money men. Do you understand? The money men want these rivalries. And they want to milk these rivalries for all they're worth. There are definitely money men, probably on both sides of this equation. Joshua on one side and Wilder on the other. There are probably money men on both sides who want to milk this rivalry for all it's worth. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.